All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we live right here with B-Boy Reg and the incredible DJ Assault. Man, if you know about dance music, even if you had some butt cheeks, you should know about DJ Assault. That's my man right there, Detroit in the house.
Especially some ladies, but
Right. Yeah, they're the right butt cheeks.
Right. No
those
doubt.
guys be trying to twerk, but it's a bad look.
Right.
Hey,
What's going on with you,
what's
sir?
going on, DJ Assault?
Just working for the most part. Not too much other than that.
All
And
right.
tell the people where you born and raised.
Actually, I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and weirdly enough, in second grade, I moved to Southfield, Michigan.
All right.
But I lived actually on 7 Mile and Coyle, if you would be familiar with it, West Side. Yeah, I guess it would be east of Greenfield.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 Mile east of Greenfield on Coyle. And in second grade, I moved to Southfield.
Okay.
All right. Yo. Who were some of your influences coming up and as far as DJing and music in general?
Well, basically, I was a kid listening to the to the radio. So, of course, I knew like the Wizard, like most people, and maybe Mojo, like most people. But because I played basketball, that's what I initially wanted to do before music. People didn't know. So when I was about 12, I knew like people in high school because I was playing with them. I was taller than most people, but they eventually kind of caught up with me. But anyway, I got Chicago mixtapes from like older guys that I was playing basketball with. So that's how I knew about like the Hot Mix Five and like Farley, Jack Master Funk, or Bad Boy Bill and Mike Hitman Wilson, Julian Jumpin' Perez, people like that. So that's what introduced me to house music. But it was like I say, like all like radio stuff, because I was way too young like to go to the club or anything, So I really didn't have most of the records because I wasn't driving, or anything like that. So
Right. With so early on, so your introduction to house music and being from Detroit, like how important was like techno music to you as well?
I like the early stuff like Model 500, the stuff like I think it was Channel One record, was it? The Technicolor was weirdly by Channel One, I think.
Yeah.
Or am I? Maybe it was two channel. It's another record that was a Channel One record too. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, that stuff and like all of the rhythm is rhythm, like Mayday stuff.
Yeah.
I really like the Mayday mixes when he used to do the mixes with the reels and stuff. I was hearing.
Yeah.
I tried to go see him one time. I was 14 and got in trouble because my mother didn't know. I kind of snuck out or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I really like it's a lot of. I don't think you could find it, and it kind of reminded me of like 4-track mixing.
Right.
With like all that stuff going on. So yeah, I think that's the biggest influence other than the hip hop side, because people didn't know like I always rapped since like 10 years old, but as I got older, I just thought it was hard to compete with the major labels if you were doing the same genre because they had so much money behind them at the time.
Right.
And I always believed in investing like all my own money in my career. I very seldomly used other people's like funding for anything I ever did. So I thought it was just a lose-lose situation to compete as a rapper when you knew that the major labels controlled the radio. So like, what were you gonna do? So I kind of could get records played because it was mix show style and it wasn't hip hop. But that's how you notice usually like my dance music is a lot more lyrical than most people that do like house or techno or anything because it was from the rap background. I just never found a way to really make it make sense, you know. So
Man, how do you feel about the impression you left with your music? I mean, you put out tons of tapes and CDs, and it's like you're part of Detroit dance culture, the culture period. Explain that.
yeah, I thought I'm happy with the most part, for the most part of everything that went on. But I'm still a student, you know, of the whole music industry. But I'm a little bit, I would say, like untraditional. A lot of my thoughts of the music business would be a lot different than most people because if it's a marketing campaign, you know, it's my money. So I'm talking with the people. If it's touring, even international, you know, I probably, before the tour even happens, like I'm funding all the stuff. So my perspective is like way different than any like major label model, even though I study the major label business practices and all of that, you know, even with like the publishing and licensing and all of that stuff. I'm just a student. But I say it's very academic, the music industry, and it's unfortunate that a lot of artists they just don't get interested in that portion of it because the last thing I wanted to be is like old and didn't have like any money, but I did like world tours and you know iTunes is going crazy and like Spotify is going crazy and I just think most artists don't understand. I never understood the pursuit of a major record deal. Like, why would you want a credit card?
Right.
You know, it's no more deeper than that. You know, if you want a credit card with $1 million limit, you got interest and you still owe all the money back.
Right. Hey, now that you're speaking on that, did you have any type of business background? Because like a lot of people younger on, they don't think like that. And it seemed like you started off thinking like that.
Well, yeah, kind of, because, well, I went to Clark Atlanta University for business administration, one.
Okay.
But my mother got into like income property, even though she studied like from nothing to be a nurse. And then she got her bachelor's and like she retired a doctor, like managing 3 health clinics, like in the biggest hospital in Atlanta, like which is like Grady Memorial Hospital. So you can't do something was kind of never in my regimen, so to speak. You know, it was just being smart about doing it. And you know, even if you switch like the modern time, well, I can tell you how I got into it, but something that's like kind of weird now. It's like everybody say there's no money in the music business, but Sony isn't going out of business and they have releases every week. And Universal is not going out of business. They have releases every week. But they'll tell an artist there's no money in the music business. If you don't own your masters and sign away your publishing, maybe it is no money in the music business. And you know, when they shut all of that stuff down with the pandemic, not pandemic, but the plandemic.
Right.
I own all my masters, so I just couldn't tour, but it was still all the publishing and all the royalties. It really didn't affect me. I could sit at home, and all artists should be able to do that. You know, you can't depend on one revenue stream in the music business.
Right. Let me ask you this, because your music, you had how important was so you got the techno aspect, you got the house music, and you mentioned the hip hop part of it. Did Miami bass music play a part in that mix as well? Because you was in Atlanta.
I definitely left that out, but I was older, kind of, you know, before it was after high school that I even got introduced to Atlanta. So that was still some kid stuff, watching Luke and the 2 Live Crew, and you know, what 69 Boys, Splat Pack. I still wish some of those guys made records because I still play their records at a party. They would even like Tag Team. They would
Yeah.
like freak out. Like it's still big records now. It's no different than the '90s when they came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
What's-
We was
what's-
just talking about that earlier. Like some of the older artists probably still need to make music, even though they're not trying to do major deals, but there's still a fan base for that music.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
What's
a whole Miami
what's your
Bass
favorite?
set.
What's your favorite songs to perform?
Man, I kind of go off of what the internet like. It's weird. I learned like my DJ sets. I'm into the crowds more. Some people would say I became a better DJ now than when I was younger, but I think I pay attention to the crowd and I critique myself more, and I know now what wasn't working, I would say, as opposed to playing what I like, even though it's my tracks and maybe some dance mania mixed in and like you say, Miami bass mixed in a little bit. But the certain records have certain energy, and I see what's better for people to dance. I even slowed it down, my DJ said, from that weird, crackhead high adrenaline speed of, Detroit was kind of known for. It got kind of too crazy. So
Right.
that don't work internationally. It's like, it's funny, but people won't dance 2 hours at 150 BPM if it's not.
They not jitting all over the world.
I mean, maybe they are, but my music is for the girls more so. I figure it's hater proof. If your girlfriend want to go to the club to see me, then you're coming too. That's how I look at it,
Right.
So that's how I kind of got around a lot of the politics because it's super political. So I try to have little stuff, to combat it as much as I can. But
Speaking of being around the world, where are some of the places you toured as a DJ?
well, I guess I've been to like 40 countries, but every place is like Detroit in the 90s because Detroit kind of abandoned the whole thing, so everybody picked it up. It's what's little known. Any DJ, that's on the radio now, and I looked up. I have to say, I mean, I give people props. I don't forget about anyone. I looked up to DJ Fingers and DJ Zap, Gary Chandler.
Yeah.
They were on the radio. So I respected that, a whole lot because I remember, man, when I couldn't get in the club, like they're a bit older than me. And then I was trying to get to the club before 10 o'clock because it was free. And I was probably maybe 18 then. So it's kind of weird, man, because I had like records since about 7 years old. So it makes me know a lot more from like just top 40 that my parents was into. But my father had a lot of records. So at 7, I began to get records. So I guess it's kind of good and bad. Like I know stuff that's maybe, or artists that might be 15, even the DJs, some of them is like, I don't know, 15, 20 years older than me maybe. But I was familiar with them at like 10 because all I did was sit in my room and listen to the radio.
Wow.
So
You like our baby Luke at home, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I met Luke. We played in Miami about 5, 6 years ago because his book. I don't know if everybody got the book or did he leave his book for me in his room. I'm not in my hotel room. I'm not sure, but everybody should read the book of Luke. And I was so mad, man. It's a good business lesson. But I admire Luke. I don't see how he could live with the business. Clearly, he was set up to take his catalog, no doubt. I'd probably be in jail if somebody that's sitting back with their feet kicked up, making a couple million off of my catalog every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of hard, but I think he was set up to lose his catalog by those attorneys. People have to watch out. Like all the attorneys, I always say you need a relationship that's non-professional with a entertainment lawyer to hopefully they don't try to screw you when you need them because I've been sued by firms that I hired even. So that's kind of weird. It's they're not on your side all the time. But like I say, they're not above the law. I tell artists too, because if they do something that wasn't agreed upon and you think it's unfair, file a grievance on their ass. You know, they try to intimidate you, but they're not above the law. They don't want that filed against them, trust me.
Right.
Because it's a lot of, headaches for them. So yeah, I said just file a grievance. I didn't know that years ago.
Right. Hey, talk about making your own music. So like, when did you start like producing some of your own music?
Wow. To be honest, I didn't even consider that. Maybe to high school, and I used to take piano lessons as maybe a 10-year-old, but I didn't like it. I don't know why. I kind of thought it was for girls or something. But I should have stuck with it versus trying to pick it back up at like 18, 19,
Right.
you know. So, um, yeah, because we were always in like middle school talent shows, high school talent shows as kids, but I never thought about getting real equipment to do it. Um, to wow, I guess like high school, maybe 16, 17, maybe not the first couple of years of high school either, I would say, because I don't know why. I think keyboards cost a lot. I didn't know a lot about production equipment. You know, my parents got me like the Technic 1200s and stuff like that. I had them at like 14, but I guess I was so into DJing, really, I didn't think about um, producing records. But the weird part that's more interesting, what made me think about producing records would be, and it's the more people that I left out, from the DJing aspect coming up. Um, it was people y'all might not even know, but I would name them. It's people they have records, they do things now, and they were I know like it was a guy Tink Thomas I kind of played basketball with, and you might know him. He's definitely around in Detroit. I think it's what is it, Dusty Crates? Sorry, I know I'm messing up his whole brand. I can't crate diggers or something, but it's Tink Thomas. He don't realize he helped me a lot because I was a kid. He didn't have to let me come over his house, and I had to ride my bike there while he was DJing and stuff. I learned a lot from him. Another guy like Gary Romalis, he does records and stuff now, and I don't know, man. I guess I just took it more serious than they did, even though they taught me a lot. But I never stopped. But honest, to answer the question, the production element was when I was looking at all of the DJs that were on the radio in the 90s. And I was like, well, their name in Detroit, how do you ever compete with them? You would have to do something they don't do. I couldn't just be a DJ and be their friend and everybody accept me. I don't fit in with the music business a lot. I'll say not with the artists or the DJs too much. I'm kind of my own man. And if like 1,000 people in a room believe something, if I don't believe it, I'll go against 1,000 people in the room. That's just how I am.
Right.
So I was like, well, one aspect of all them people that was on, JLB or what was the other one? I can't think of that. It was what it was it 105 I think or something. I can't remember the call letters for that, but one thing that they didn't do was make their own records. And I was saying, if I could add that to me being a DJ, I could compete but not compete with them at the same time. It's kind of like they say, like finding your own lane. I'm the king at like getting in where I fit in. I don't try to be anything I'm not, or definitely not, or allow people to say I'm less than what I know I am at the same time. So I think they didn't look at it from that aspect that I wouldn't be to me, like, I mean, I say something that I think piss people off, but it'd be funny to me. Like I say, like like at 40 years old, man, I'm not trying to play the latest Lil Wayne record or whoever's the hottest rapper, Jay-Z, I mean, I don't know, or the Lil Yachty's or whoever's out there, little, everybody little nowadays, but that's another story. I think if I didn't have a vested interest in my catalog, at some point DJing becomes a dead end job. Like, I don't know why you continue to just play all those corporations records and make them more and more money. I don't own that material. Yeah, people truly don't get it. I continue to DJ to promote the catalog.
Man, your catalog is like it symbolizes fun. Just in those times of just riding through the parks and windows down, sounds banging. You know,
Yeah, it was crazy.
what you like a Freaknik soundtrack, man.
Yeah, that's kind of, and a lot of people, they don't understand why I didn't like their records much. Some people that made music similar, because it was kind of weirdly, in a way, our life. Because I remember at 14 years old, we would find guys that we knew that had a driver's license so they could drive, so we could go and hang out on Belle Isle and like Jefferson Ave. That's where I got the name of the label, Jefferson Ave, because it reminded me of just hanging out, not really going nowhere, just talking to a bunch of girls. Man, we would have number competitions. I think somebody got it on camera, man. Us really, really young somewhere that how many numbers you get tonight? Like, it's a competition, like we're dumb. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy, even though a lot of the fun, it kind of got spoiled in a way with all the smartphones and cameras everywhere. Whether it's total fraud that people committing or is any like real validity behind a lot of stuff, but I don't know. It's some people that want to stop fun, so it's unfortunate.
What was the first record that you actually put out?
Oh, that's even a funnier story. Because the first records, that's when I learned my lesson from Buy Right Music, man. And I thought the guy there, he would be more so of a mentor. I don't care about calling names of people, because that's some more industry fake stuff. When you want to mention a topic but don't want to call the name of a person, I mean, whatever it gets you,
Right.
But I say, no weapon formed against me or prosper. So that is what it is. But your boy Cliff Thomas, we were kids, man. So I thought that he could be a mentor to us at Buy Right. And he said we would get $1 per record if we put these records out, because initially it was a rap group. We went to him as a rap group. That's where Assault come from, a rap group, Assault and Battery. But the rap stuff didn't get put out. But we recorded a whole rap album there. People don't know it. But some kind of way we got into producing dance music, and I didn't know what I was doing, man. I was just a DJ kind of putting drums and samples together, and I thought maybe people would dance to it. And to let you know the time period, I was getting like $5 an hour working at Buy Right. And my sampler I got my parents to finance a sampler where I was paying like $80 a month. And it was like a EPS 16 plus. So that tells you it was way back. And it was a store model. It wasn't even new. But it was, I mean, it was new as nobody had pre-owned it, but it was like the shelf model where they displayed it. It was like the last one. So I got that and paid $80 a month. So I was just putting samples together and was thinking maybe somebody would dance to this. But anyway, Cliff, he told us he would give us $1 a record. He was gonna press some records if we did the track. So we ended up doing 4 separate 12 inches. And what happened, we were there and putting records on the shelf and watching each record sell like about 400 copies each record. So I was like, wow, okay, this is out of one store. But then he came back and said, oh, no, it was just 100 of each copy. And from right then, I was like, he's never going to pay us our money if he lied. You know, you lied by 75%, man.
Right.
So it's like, I saw that record sold. So I was like, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to press my own records, even though, I mean, at the time we were super young, but somebody told me it cost like $10,000 to press records, so I didn't know. But when I looked into it, it really wasn't that much, maybe 10% of that, and you could pay half of it up front and half when it was ready. So I did high school parties, so I would get like $200 a week. That's all I was making as a DJ every Friday night playing a high school party. So I had, you know, along with my $5 an hour at the record store an hour, I said I would put out a record. I had, you know, maybe $1,000 in the bank or something, man. But I was like, well, I see it sells, so you know, press the records up for myself. If we can do that out of one store, if I exclude his store by right for the hater stuff that was going on and lying to us, you know, it's a million other stores in Detroit. So that's what I decided to do. And I mean, from there, it just got bigger and bigger. Even when it went to the point, well, Detroit was a funny place because it was consignment, and they depended on your records not selling, but ours sold, so they wanted more. So that was kind of the leverage to keep doing business that the product sold. And you know, some of the stores in Detroit, they even told us we're not used to paying any Detroit artists, but because we want more product, we will pay you. You know, and that's funny. But that's why I didn't do rap music. And that's why people really couldn't sell rap music, because it's competing with major label stuff. So that was another, like, find your own lane. So yeah, that's how that came about. And then of course, national distribution, you just get a UPS account when people want it in Europe and ship it to Europe. And that's another thing with DJs. I asked them, even it's going on right now. If a guy in Europe on a whole nother continent is pressing your records for you, how do you believe the accounting? You don't know what he's selling, what he's pressing. So I'm like, how could anybody trust that?
Yep.
I mean, you have to do it yourself. If you just, I think we're past that point. But if you just wanted records, you had to do them like us. We manufacture them and we ship them internationally. Right. You know, you have to do that. Like, how can you trust anybody across the water? You know, they could press 5,000 of them and tell you they only press 1,000 or 500. And you know, that's another misconception. It'll make people maybe mad, some people. But what I'll say, I watch multi-platinum artists lose everything. They was big baller, lose your house. Benz is getting towed, repossessed. artists never fathom you don't want to walk down that street. Because I look at it, I'm like, man, I had all the stuff you see them niggas on TV with, and I ain't lost none of my stuff. That's the difference. But you have to own it, and it's not glamorous, I'll say, or Hollywood. Like, you really have to work. You know, at one point in time, we would have to go to like UPS or the post office 3 or 4 times a week, and artists would say, "Oh, I ain't doing that. I'm just a rapper." You know, well, be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm trying to have, you know, like the longevity and make sure the business is running right, and you need like hands-on experience. I don't allow anyone to give me like third-party information. If I can't hear it directly from the source, you know, I can't trust it. Even now, it's digital. Do you trust once again, accounting from distribution when all the files are digital? No, I tell people, if I'm getting robbed by Spotify. They account to me every month. If I'm getting robbed by iTunes. They account to me every month. It's like, it has to be that way. If I can't deal directly with you, then I can't really do the business. And when you cut out the middleman, I don't need all them millions of streams or millions of downloads on iTunes for our money to be comparable if you're a major artist. And people don't get that either. Like, it's a simple breakdown. I try to explain to people, like, one record on iTunes, like, it's $1.29 for just one track. Well, iTunes is gonna take 30 cents, so it's 99 cents left. Out of 99 cents, I get 99 cents. If you're signed to a label, if you say you get more than 12 cents, you're a liar. And I tell everybody that. They know they lying because they're embarrassed. If you say you get more than that 12 cents of the 99 cents, you're a liar.
Wow.
But see, I would have to be dealing directly, doing the business, involved with people like on a corporate level to know certain stuff. Like, I don't want to be a part of major label record deals, maybe as a producer. And that's another thing. In film and television, I do some stuff, but signing a deal, I'm not interested. But I know the inner workings and how the business is conducted, and you wouldn't want it. But everybody running and killing and robbing and raping is signed up to do a record deal. I don't get it.
Right. What do you have anybody that you wanted to work with, like that you haven't worked with or that you had in mind to work with?
That's another funny question, man. It's funny because I know a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Man, I looked up to a lot of people, to be honest, but there's so many ghosts in their studio. I'm probably scared if I went to record with them, I might get, possessed by spirits or something. I don't know. They really need to cut out the Ghostwriters, man. Really, the music ain't that complicated. So all my childhood heroes, once I learned they're not playing the instruments, they're not really coming up with the lyrics. When you've been around rappers for 30 years, like, how do you not rap? I mean, you had all the top influences, but you can't do it. I never understood stuff like that. And I think, man, if it was money put up, one thing I say, most of your top producers, if it's just me in my studio and them in their studio, I would put any amount of money up that on a finished record, they couldn't come up with nothing better than me. And I'll go any genre. I don't have to stick to dance. We could do R&B or hip hop. I don't think without, like I say, all them ghosts in the studio. And just look at the credits. With records, it's 5, 6, 7 writers, 10 writers on stuff. You would think that they would be killing everybody, but if you be honest, it's more brainwashing. The stuff ain't that high. I say if I produce my mama today and she can get it playing 3 times every hour on the radio, she gonna kill Beyonce. You know, that's how I look at it.
Right.
But it's all, brainwashing, kind of mind control as who is really hot.
Right.
It's real manufactured.
So there's a lot of ghosts in there.
It'd be like I tried to walk in one place, man, and it was like, ooh,
Tumbleweeds.
like, man, I gotta step out the booth. I don't know what that is in there. Can't fool with that.
Man,
Hey.
what's
Mother told me don't play with the devil.
I want to ask you too. So the term ghetto tech or ghetto techno.
You got all the you got some classic questions. Yeah.
Hey, I'm a fan too, man. We
doubt.
grew up to the music, so
Yeah.
I used to be at the dance.
Man, I ain't even hit my
store.
storage. I got tons of your stuff in my storage, man.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
How did that term come about, and what made you?
Man, I had no clue. I got crazy glued to that term, and I'm nowhere near it. And it's like it stick to me, you can't get it off. I might need to go to surgery or something. I try to detach myself like from the stigma, man, to be honest. Because I do not know. We always call the booty music,
Yeah.
or dance music, or Detroit booty. It wasn't really. I don't know if we thought about it that deep. It was kind of just our style, Detroit style booty music. But I mean, I know how it happened. Some people that were safe in the suburbs that would never go to like Aruba Palace or the Dancery or Club Inferno, they would be like, you had the Outcasts, Hellraisers. I think they would rather jump off the Belle Isle Bridge or something before they would, they would never go to those places. They would be too scared. I mean, period. But then you come up with ghetto tech. It's like, how y'all ghetto?
Right.
It's like, yeah, we moved to Southfield, but I was born. It's funny how many people, they were not born in Detroit. And all my relatives in Detroit, and a lot of them still stay in Detroit. We moved to Southfield, which was like, I tell you where, it was like 9.5 in Southfield Freeway.
Oh yeah, you was a couple feet into Southfield. You were
Because Detroit would come over and steal your bike.
Yeah.
Guys, if you left it out, or steal your lawnmower if you left it out in the yard from Detroit.
Right.
And it was for the school systems, man. My mother, she didn't play that weird stuff. She thought I didn't learn anything in the first grade. And then, like, what people don't know, to show you the difference, I'll say, and I hate to be, man, I'm going to tell you, it's a shame that our own kind are some of the worst sellouts. Not that I care about skin color, that's super stupid. But it's funny how very pro-black, or want to be pro-blackity black and all this, and probably don't know nothing about a lot of stuff, which would be a whole nother history lesson. Most of those people don't know the origin of nothing when they want to be so black. But what I would say, it's like the school boards. It's funny how they advocate for all that nonsense when they know public schools, especially in the inner city, is total garbage, man. But they get money, so they won't admit it. But the consequences of it is like, if you went to a Detroit public school, you were probably 3 years behind my education just by graduating 12th grade. And I saw it because all my cousins, I would laugh in high school saying, y'all doing this now? We did these certain, subjects. Well, the content, I think the particular areas of subjects that they were studying, we did it 2 and 3 years prior to them even being introduced to the information. So it's really weird, and to prove it, when I went to 2nd grade in a Southfield public school, they told my mother I really wasn't on a 2nd grade level to come to Southfield. They should allow them to put me back to 1st grade. I would do better. And she was saying, well, if you think that's the best thing for him, fine. Because already kindergarten in Detroit, first grade in Detroit, come to second grade in Southfield, and I'm already way behind. And that's what I say. Our own people are our own worst enemy because they know that about them. Public schools is in the inner city.
Wow.
So it's unfortunate. I think parents, they should take their tax money and have the school of their choice that'll best educate their kid. Because I say I had the ability to research things that I don't know. My reading comprehension is very good on things I don't know. I can study. I don't know if everybody was afforded those, what would you call them? Opportunities, luxuries. I'm not intimidated by anything. I can't say it's racism, maybe, but you can't take my brain. So I'm going to always be an independent thinker, and I'm not going to allow you to control or manipulate my brain. I'm going to search it out and read it and research it so I know what I believe. Nobody can tell me nothing. We had debates all day. I tell people, if I'm quoting you something that's documented, you have no argument unless you can bring me proof of data, something written. It can't be what you think. It's got to be documented and notated somewhere that somebody had this type of ideology, or I would hate to say theory because all the theories are false, but we're getting into something.
Or it has to be some facts behind it.
Yeah, it has to be some kind of proven facts. But like, I don't know, man. All the science is kind of thrown out the window by who has the most money, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, when we mentioned like the ghetto tech and everything, so it was basically, because I understood it like you understood it. It was just booty music to us, but you saying somebody from the outside gave it that term, and these are probably people that didn't have, that didn't grow up in the culture, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this. I tried to be friends with everybody, but I can always link a lot of people back to doing something shady.
Right.
And it kind of made me distance myself from everybody because I see the little games that they play. And I mean, I can talk and I'm just not fake. I'm a real person. Like, I'm an open book. And you can say stuff like, even the people that's not around anymore, I must be honest with saying, certain things rub me the wrong way. Because, I don't know how to be fake, man. I don't fit into this industry garbage. I tell you, it's super fake. All that fake it till you make it. You probably just going broke because you in debt, trying to do all that stuff. But like, if I give you an example, you can say, all the people that was in it. You can go start off with, it's always some smoke.
Right.
Even when people ain't around. If I go, okay, like Disco D, I had a problem with him because out of the kindness of my heart, I allow you to use my material on your mixtapes. But then you go for the little low fee that I charge you and say it's all good, you go and put it out like with Tommy Boy.
Yes.
So the Tommy Boy fee is much different. We wasn't looking at getting signed to labels like that. We didn't want to do that. So the fee for Tommy Boy is way different than, the kid that, okay, you a DJ, no problem, whatever, it's cool. See, I don't like stuff like that.
Right. So you would charge, you was giving it to him for a fee, not knowing he was going to a major. Because if it was a major, you would have had another fee.
Right. Exactly.
A major label fee, right?
And it's like that today. Why most people can't clear my samples or use my music now because of the market value. If I'm dealing with, like, I don't know, New Line Cinema or Paramount or whoever, it retains a certain market value. So I can't license that track to you for less than the market value because they paid so much for it. I'm devaluing it. So it make it a case where if you're not majorly funded, you really can't license like a track for film and TV for synchronization licensing because the price went up too high. And I mean, that's just business. I mean, it's business. It ain't nothing else. But so yeah, it's different than a major, then I understand we all trying to make it. So it's a company right now in Germany trying to clear a sample. And I mean, it's part of the catalog, and I didn't even do the track, but it's part of my catalog, so I can work with you. But it's a lot of stuff they're giving up for a very low fee to clear the sample. I'll say it like that. And then when you go to your boy, my greatest well, I ain't gonna say adversary. Y'all guys are funny to me, man. It's like I'm on the side of the bully, but I try to maintain and restrain myself. I always give a shout out to the bullies because if you didn't pass that test in life, you're going to struggle as an adult. So shouts out to all my bullies. I didn't take it no longer at like 14, 15. Right. They totally changed me, but I understand the game. But if you go to like, and I mean, people want to know this stuff, so it just is what it is. If you go to somebody, you'll say like DJ Godfather. I'm going to tell all y'all DJs on the radio something. I think y'all play more DJ Godfather records than Assault records just to put him in direct competition with me. His shit was never hotter than mine, and still it ain't to this day. Like I say, I'm the undisputed king of booty music, Detroit, 313, So, I mean, that's how it is. And look at it. I mean, you don't have, and I say, once again, more proof. Show me y'all millions of streams on booty records from Detroit. You don't have it. Don't come on. Right. Even on YouTube, it's showing you now, or Spotify, millions and millions. And I'm saying it's not a major label. 8 million, 7 million, 6 million for stuff. Right. Nobody tracks had it. It's showing you what's the most popular. And I just believe because they didn't do records, and I found a way to get in where I fit in. They played, and I appreciate them playing Assault records. Don't get it twisted. Like, I appreciate it. But I do think his material wasn't that hot, and it didn't stand the test of time. It's not classic like my catalog now. So, I mean, that's the only hypothesis I could come to is what I'm gonna say.
Man,
hey, so I want to get your
trademark ass and titties, man.
Right.
For real.
And then too, I could look at him more. I don't respect a lot of DJs that change and go with everything that's hot. You notice I didn't say, oh, now I'm a drum and bass DJ. Even though I played some jungle tracks, and the tracks that I even knew about drum and bass, I heard Zap playing them. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna front. I was, oh, that's a hot record. What is that? Zap played it, so I wanted it. And I incorporated that sometimes. But it's DJs, there's places that, okay, I played booty music or like maybe ghetto house, and I totally changed. Now I'm a strictly drum and bass DJ, or I'm a strictly trap DJ. Like as the genres change, they change with them. And they don't know. Me, Dylan, once again, starting another company that I didn't want to start to do like international bookings. I'm hearing from promoters firsthand. They saying, you changed your style too much. We'll never book you because you switched and it's too drastic. And some people, promoters won't book. They told me that we feel you changed too much from what you originally used to play, so we're not interested in doing the booking.
Right.
And And I would say that, I was kind of, and I'm not so mean now, but I was nice for a period of time and kind of held my tongue. But I don't wish to do that just to go along to get along with people. I think when it comes to people like Godfather, you jumped on the juke hookup, stuff that they were doing in Chicago, and you put them records out. Well, that's a Chicago thing, and the footstep stuff. I like that stuff. That's Shy Time, but I think it was only monetary. Your heart has to. That's what I'm saying. Your heart has to be in it. When they say real, recognize real, it's a necessity to make money. But I won't say, man, it's a lot of catalogs I could acquire because I know a lot about publishing. I said no because my heart wasn't in it. I don't want it for the money. I'll make the money because my heart is in it. I don't ever have to chase the money. And these people that I mentioned, well, I guess only one person as a DJ, it's like disingenuous to you own the juke stuff and then y'all name it Ghetto Tech and man, it's just fake. I'm sorry, it's just all fake. And then the minute you get in a magazine, because they so happy, oh, we got attention, like a little girl wanting attention, we got to name it something because the magazines want to write about. That's how it happened, man. The magazines,
Right.
the first time they did an interview, they had to name it something, and it's stuff. People want to call it something. And that was just the early time. But I mean, everybody is so, I'm going to tell you something. The most egotistical people in the music business are the least talented. You never see me talking about a bunch of stuff that I got. I kind of went it. I don't do it a lot on Instagram. I might flex here and there a little bit of something. That ain't really my style. But what I will say, it's just, I don't have to speak much, man. It's like the catalog should speak for itself. It is what it is. If people like it, I appreciate it. If they don't like it, I say, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't play this in my set. They like this and they asked me to play that. I listen, I love the fans, man. But I just hate, like, I don't like a lot of artists and producers and DJs because it's like, it's always a competition. I don't know how it feels to be jealous. I tried to work with everybody, man. But I can't compromise my business and stuff I built. Even like I had partnerships when I first started. And they think it's personal. I have no ego. I can't work a 9-to-5 job, so I can't compromise everything I built. So if I had to split ways with people and we go our separate ways, even with my ex-partner, when I started electro funk. If you wanted to talk, the name came from me. It was my idea to get off the plantation at Rivalries Records and do it like a man. And my ex-partner, he know that. I had to drag him away from Cliff because I thought he should have more self-respect and dignity for himself. And in the end, we were like worse adversaries, but it shouldn't have been like that because you can't Suge Knight me. He don't understand that still. I bear no malice in my heart for him. I forgive him, but I don't forget this stuff where when I was trying to get a business loan, and you say I don't work for a corporation that I worked for 4 years and I just left a couple of months ago. So you say I had no employment history when I started the corporation, but I signed over the documents and it's 100% your corporation. And I wipe my hands from it, and go my separate ways because it's drama. But then you try to do weird stuff behind my back. I don't forget that stuff, even though it ain't no beef and it's finished. But it's things like that. Or you try to Suge Knight me. I can leave like I'm Drake from Death Row Records, but you gonna retain all the rights to all my masters. I mean, people do it how they do it. I'm 100% not a slave, and I'm not controlled about all them folks, you should listen to Kanye. If people know the business, he's not lying nor crazy. And I say in those situations, to walk away, you would have to kill me. If I'm walking with nothing, you're going to kill me before I walk with nothing, because I'm a man before anything else. So luckily, my manager at the time had a more civilized solution that I should sue him and take it to court for the rights to my material. But I wasn't mature like that at the time. And like I say, I'm a man first. So all of that hoeing me and punking me or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to be a bitch, you will bury me. Because I'm just this by the principles, man. And like I say, I don't beef with nobody. I don't starve, nothing ever. But like, I'm a man first. Y'all can skinny jeans it all you want to. I'm a man first, you know. We don't rock like that, straight up, you know. So,
hey, I wanted to say something too. You pointed out earlier, and when we interviewed DJ Tap Money, we was talking about having DJ songs on certain hip hop albums and how those songs kind of evolved into like dance music, right? But like, you were one of the first DJs we seen really putting out your own music to the point where other DJs had to play your music. Right. So that kind of eliminated the competition, because here's a hot song. Now you supplying the suppliers, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's why we had like Supply and Demand was one of the first records. Yeah, it was kind of a strategy, because if the record is popular, we figured people would play it. Right. And it was, I mean, I didn't know how to compete with all those DJs on the radio. Like I say, I looked up to them, but eventually, yeah, they had they were playing our records. The DJs had to play the records of another DJ, you could say. And it was funny, man, and I'll be honest, a lot of them guys, you got to have an entrepreneurial type of mindset. I would listen to the radio and say, what are they going to play that's an idea that I'm going to flip it and put it back out? And like I say, I wasn't the first one to come up with sampling or using or mixing Jodeci, acapella Freaking You. I'm just known for like one of the people, you know, who made maybe they did it in Chicago. I don't know. I think mine bigger though. Yeah, I sampled it and I was kind of known for it. And it made people mad at first, but I was like, yeah, I didn't come up with everything I do, but I can actually produce it. It's not an ideal. It ain't like I stole your production and redid it. I heard a mix show and say, this could be a record. And that's what I was doing. Right. So, yeah, a lot of people didn't
what's next to come out with you? And how can they get the back catalog?
What's that?
How can they get the back catalog of this?
Yeah, at store.jeffersonave.com, the whole back catalog. I think everything I ever made, if I owned it, which is most tracks, at least if they were popular, it's all at store.jeffersonave.com. And it's a new album coming. I got one more song to finish. It's called Hole Busters, kind of like a playoff of like Ghostbusters. For whatever, I don't know.
That's crazy.
So you said it's store.jeffersonave.com?
Yep.
All right, let me just see if I got this for the people. This the right one here?
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, you get.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I want everybody to go check that page out and hear what made some of Detroit music hot.
Yes, yeah, we got even merch too. I'm taking it serious now this year. I wasn't taking the merch serious. So we have merch like hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, women's t-shirts. That's available like online too. And we're gonna do more. Like the theme for our merch is gonna be like popular songs.
Okay.
For the most part. So we got like ass and titties right now and t-shirts and stuff. DJ Assault shirts and Jefferson Ave shirts, like for the label. But we're gonna keep going, and that's a different website though. I guess it's teespring.stores. Oh, is that right? Teesprings. No, it's teespring.com/stores. That's plural /DJ like dash or the -sign assault. I don't know why it had to be that complicated, but
Right.
Y'all Google Jefferson Ave, DJ Assault, real Detroit legend right here.
But the whole URL is kind of weird. I wish it didn't have to. I wish it could be like store.jeffersonave.com. But
right. And before we wrap up, do you have a message for the music community, either Detroit or DJs?
Yeah, man. I mean, we got to keep banging the beat. That's what I think.
Right.
It's not athletics how they might try to pawn off the whole recording industry to try to say like it's a young man's sports. Hip hop is like a $3 billion a year market or more. That might be old figures. I don't think $3 billion is like young man's money or whatever, how I look at it. So, man, I never stop like rapping or none of that stuff, producing or DJing until I can't even do it anymore. Like, the tours are getting bigger, while people sitting at home with arthritis now and, couch potatoes. My tour is getting bigger. I tell people, man, stay in the gym and eat right. Shoot, do the cardio. Do some cardio, man. About 30 minutes a day. You won't ever need Viagra. That's the key. Cut out all that fried food, man.
Right.
Shit, I'm gonna tell you how to be. I gotta stay the king of booty music.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah, be ready for the
we doing it all around the world with that.
The name of the new album is No Viagra.
Right.
That's one. Is that an EP or an? I guess I forget which one. It's an EP or an. That might be the latest one. Yeah, I was messing with people. Yeah, because I'm like 40 now. I don't think my stuff ain't never gonna stop. You gotta know the right supplements, man. I tell people I invest a lot of money into multivitamins and a lot of tons of different, supplements.
Right.
So I'm never scared about getting sick or nothing like that because I know like what to take, to prevent all that stuff. You don't have to don't let people make you scared or stuff.
Right.
They want to, even all that cough medicine and cold medicine, that's a racket too. If they didn't have a flu season, they wouldn't sell all of that medicine, So you can even prevent that. You don't have to, but they know that's kind of off the topic. We don't have to have a cold and flu season. But like I say, my mother's a retired doctor, so it's a whole nother game,
Right.
But, they know a lot of stuff that I just think they should let the real doctors speak and not the paid puppets. But, so, we just gonna keep on doing what we do. The Jefferson Ave staff get the last laugh. So
that's what's up.
Man, thank you, man. This is our king of dance music right here. This is our baby Luke right here. Our One Live crew, man. DJ Assault, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. And I guess maybe I should say, I guess I just said keep banging the beat. But for the people that start, I think the younger people that were starting like me, 17, 18, 19 or whatever, I would just say research what you want to do. Just know about it. Like if you were a business person, like investing your money versus just being an artist. Even though you want to be an artist, you want to know what the manager know and the A&R, the things that they know, or the corporate executives at the labels. You want to study, like all the information is out there, but you have to read. If you want to keep your money, man, I'll say it like plain, and not get everything stolen from you. You have to read. you know, because it's happened to me. I mean, I could tell you stories about, I mean, $100,000 stolen on different random deals or something. But because I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to read and, you know, be more, you know, astute, I'll say, with the music business. Yeah.
All right. That's dope. Well, we want to thank you for coming out. We might have to have you back when we have our music business platform.
Yeah, you schooled everybody.
Yeah, because you gave us a lot of gems in that. So.
Oh yeah, if you would like, because I could explain. Yeah, definitely anything that has to do with publishing or sample clearance, or I mean copyright laws. You know, I'm just a student. Like I say, I never claim to know more than anybody. I'm just a student. I even went to like audio engineering school in 2008. You know, it was late.
Right.
But, you know, I'm just interested in learning more. So I'm just a student, man. I try to learn the more, you know, because of our lack of knowledge, you know, it's kind of, you know, the reasons why we don't understand and don't succeed at things.
Right.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We want to thank DJ Assault for coming out.
Yes.
This B-Boy Reg.
Right, I'm DJ Butter.
And it's
Man, I had a question. I forgot one question.
All right.
DJ, but I'm trying to remember from back in the day. You're from Detroit, right?
Right. I did an album called Kill the DJ.
Didn't you like tour like in the 90s all over the place, like before we were really traveling, like playing hip hop, like out of state and stuff? That was you, right?
I did a lot with Eminem and D12 and
Okay. Yeah, I thought I remembered that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, y'all was making all the money at the record stores. This is my first time seeing you, like, you know, second time I think I seen you, you know.
I thought I saw you DJing somewhere, but it was like in the 90s. Yeah. But it was before I was traveling all around, because I didn't care about that, honestly, man, because we sold a lot of records, to be honest. And, you know, when you, a little known fact, when you manufacturing and distributing your own CDs, it's like 900% profit in it.
Yeah.
So people was wondering, like, it's like a lot of stuff that I don't talk about, but like money. I mean, 20 years ago, I mean, I had money. Like I say, like literally, like no exaggeration, it's a 900% profit in a CD if you manufacture it yourself. And I mean, it could be proven. I mean, what does it cost? You sell it for like $10.50. We were selling at retail maybe $11. A CD don't cost more than like $1.50 to manufacture. $1.50 a CD. And you know, we had our in-house graphic designers. So, and once you reorder the CD, they had a glass master already, so the price dropped even more because they keep it on file. So, you know, I don't like to say stuff that, you know, a lot of stuff is weird now. He lying, but I can break down, you know, because it was my money. That's how you get 900% profit from a CD. It costs like $150. You sell it for $10.50 to retail. You know, at the wholesale price of $10.50. I'm the company. It cost me $150. So $9 is profit per CD. 900%. I hate they ended CDs, man.
Right.
Well, so yeah, that's something else.
Y'all got DJ Assault CD, man. That's a gem right there.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta have you come back. We gonna have a panel. Everybody,
I forgot. They laughed at my $3 mixtapes. A lot of DJs. I forgot to say that. And I sold them because I did high school parties, man. And we in high school. How you gonna pay $10 every week? You had to get in the club and get stuff to drink. It wasn't alcohol. We were young, and they still laughed at my $3 mix CDs, and they were an hour long, 60-minute CDs. But what they didn't understand, another fact, at at $3 a CD, in a year, I would sell like 10,000 of them. That was the thing at $3. Yeah. So, I mean, but they laughed. Our mixtapes are $10. You sell yours for $3. But it's marketing, man. You had to know the market. It wouldn't have sold at $10.
Right.
So,
Jefferson Ave, get the last laugh, man.
Yeah, I try to always get the last laugh when you do the math.
I like that. That's a bar.
Hey,
All
thank
right,
you
y'all.
again, DJ Assault.
Oh,
Thanks
you're
for
welcome.
coming out.
I appreciate it, man.
Man, salute to you, man.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.